Okay, so we started recording it too, so more people can watch it later. So in the end, I'll ask you guys if you guys have any questions. Okay, it's going to be a very quick presentation. Please write down any doubts you have. Write down anything you want to ask me later in the end. Okay. Uh, so we are here to talk about how we can implement or activate SCORI in our animals. If you're here, I believe you already know something about exchanges. Like, I saw that there's someone from El Salvador, from Jamaica, um, and all of you guys already have in your NMOs the exchanges from Scopy, the professional exchange. So now I believe you have some knowledge about exchanges. If you don't, there's no problem. We can talk about it later. But I'm going to start like if you knew something about the IFMSA exchanges on the professional level. So how do we implement SCORI in our animals? What is SCORI? SCORI is the Standing Committee on Research Exchange. It was founded in 1991, and it has this mission: to offer future physicians an opportunity to experience research and diversity in countries all over the world, achieved by providing network of locally internationally active students that globally facilitate access to research exchange projects. So we want to shape culturally sensitive students and skilled researchers. So our mission is to be able to provide an opportunity to students to go abroad and experience how is research in a different country than yours. But for that, it's necessary for you to send your students. It's necessary that you're also able to receive students, because all exchanges in IFMSA work on a bilateral basis. You send your students because you receive some students. So first step, we need your NMO approval. As soon as you in your NMO decide that you are interested in activating SCORI, you gotta talk to your president, and your president has to approve it and contact the SCORI director. I'll show his email here right now. It's SCORI d at ifmsa.org. He is the international responsible for organizing all exchange research exchange programs within IFMSA. He is the one who coordinates everything. So for that, we need your president from your NMO to send the SCORI director an email saying, hey, we are from Tanananam and we want to activate SCORI. As soon as you do that, the SCORI director will put you in contact with your regional assistant. But before that, you need to appoint a NORI, a National Officer on Research Exchange. You already decided that you want to activate SCORI, your NMO agrees with that, but you need a person to be in the way mediating the communication. We need someone organizing within your NMO, someone from your NMO that will take responsibility on building this project. Why? Because there are so many documents, you have to organize yourself. So we need one person responsible, that it can be the link between the SCORI director, the regional assistant, so we can shape your NMO to receive SCORI. So the step 2 is to appoint a NORI, and then you present him or her to the SCORI D, and the SCORI D will put that NORI in contact with his regional assistant. For example, in the Americas, it's me. I'm the regional assistant for the Americas. So I will get in contact with that NORI, and I'll give him the steps for activation. First of all, we're getting him access to all documents in IFMSA. In that moment, we'll share with him the Nori folder. I'm going to show you the Nori folder. It's right here. This is the Nori folder. So when you elect a Nori, that person will gain access to all this material. Here, there's everything you need to know. We have a very special part here called manuals, and you click here, and there are manuals for everything. We're talking about that later. How to talk to tutors, handover from one Nori to another Nori, and this is the most important document, the MORI, the Manual on Research Exchange. Here you will have all details that you need for the activation. It's really important that the Nori reads all these documents. They are not long, they're like 10 pages long tops. They're really fast, easy to read. You won't have any problems with that, but because they have the basic information of what we have to do. Here we also have activating SCORI and the manual on how to establish SCORI in your NMO. I base my presentation for you guys now from this manual. So if you can take the time to read it, you'll like it and probably you will learn a bit better. So returning to our presentation, it's necessary for you to appoint a Nori that he will be responsible for this contact, organizing documents, understanding, and making your NMO understand what is SCORI. The third step is to approach your medical university or your school. How do you do that? You get to approach them and present IFMSA and SCORI. Most of you are in, you have your NMOs, your faculty already knows your NMO, and then you present the SCORI exchanges. For that, we also have even a PowerPoint presentation here in the Nori folder. Yes, we have everything here in the Nori folder. Um, so it's not here. I'm sorry. Certificates. Recognition material. So here there's a presentation here. DIN presentation. I'll put in the list. SCORI DIN presentation PowerPoint. Here you have all the information you need to show your university or faculty what is SCORI, how we work, what do we do. So how are our exchanges, where we are, who recognizes us. This is really important because it shows that the United Nations recognize us, the WHO recognizes us, the World Medical Association. Uh, Here also we have all the endorsement letters that you can show to your university, our exchanges, and make them believe in what we're doing. On that moment, you presented IFMSA and SCORI to your college. They accepted it. They said, yes, we can receive students. You have to establish exchange conditions. What is that? It's your conditions to accept students. They can be easily found in the ifmsa.org website. I'm going to show it to you right now. ifmsa.org. Exchange the world. You come to participating countries and exchange conditions. You click on them and you click in SCORI. Sometimes you already have some exchange conditions in Scopy. You can use them, like you can adapt them to the SCORI ones. That's not a problem. So here there are all the exchange conditions from all the countries that we have on SCORI, okay? So just click on them to see. So we have to establish those exchange conditions for your country. For example, let's see the exchange conditions on Austria. And you'll have all the rules that the student coming to your country is obligated to do. The languages that he can use, time of hours working per day, days per week, the dress code, that's really important, what he should bring, white coat, special remarks, the cities, and here there's a list of the projects they have. If you're having unilateral fee, you gotta say how much it is. Where you're going to give boarding, like where the student is going to eat, where the student is going to be hosted, if he's going to a hostel or to any kind of, or to the house of students, the application form, what's the deadline to send the application form, and what are the documents you want for receiving that student. So here they have all information. Uh, Here on the Nori folder, that's the part that you're going to have to work, is that you will have for that, for your exchange conditions, you'll have to download this and put your exchange conditions in it and send it to me or to the Scori director. Here it's really easy. You just put the languages required um, right here in this middle, the languages, dress code. So here there's like the questions, and you just put here in the middle. It's really easy. Uh, the assurance information, if you give pocket money or not. So all the information you need. Sorry, my computer froze just once. Okay, so you approach your university and you shape your changes based on what your university was asking. So after it, the step 4 is this 3. We already talked about it. The step 4 is looking for projects. If my computer helps me, I hope it doesn't die. Come on, I'm sorry, guys. We're having some technical difficulties, but at least we're going to back. So the step 4 is to find research projects. How you will you do it? Um, you have to get in touch with all your professors, all your tutors, everybody you know from your university. You got to contact them, those professors that have some research project, professors that work in laboratories, that they have laboratories, or even who doctors that do clinical research. You get in contact with them and you show them, you present Corey just what like you did to the dean of your university, and then you give him the project form. I'm going to show you guys the project form. Here is the project form. Here you can find the project form. I'm going to open it for you. And you and the professor will have the responsibility. You, in the case that, like, if it's just you in your university, maybe you can have a lorry, a student from that university that's going to pursue the professor and look for their research project. So they will put the name of the research project, their address, the name of the head of the department, the tutor, who is going to be the tutor, and then you're going to put the description of the project. This is some information, some background that usually who is in a research project, they already have that information. So some background, what is the aim of the project, what are the techniques used, what kind it is, if it is like basic science working in a lab, if it is clinical research without lab work, or if it is a clinical research with lab work. If they are theoretical, teaching some theory for them, so if they will have readings, lectures, what is the role of the student during his exchange? Um, for example, he's going to be part of the group. He will have to present a seminar. He will have to investigate with his coworkers, everything that he's supposed to do during his research, where when he's going to be in your country. What is the expected outcome of the student if he participates? Like if he can develop a paper or a poster presentation. What are the skills and the knowledge that this student will acquire during his exchange? If some skills are required, for example, you can ask the student to already have all knowledge of anatomy or knowledge of biochemistry. This enters also in special knowledge or certain level of studies. There are any legal limitations in the involvement of the student. That's really rare, but for example, in the Netherlands, no student can participate in a project if they have to touch the patient. So that would be a legal limitation. They cannot touch the patients, they can only see stuff. And if there is a scientific report, if in the end your guys are going to ask the student for a report of what he did, here there's a space for putting articles that will give you information about the project. All languages required is really important. English is always required for a SCORE project. We need it to accept students in English. We can accept other languages, but English is always obligatory. And if you, which kind of students you're going to accept? Medical students, students that are graduated from less than 6 months. Per medical students, some countries they have that, like the United States and Canada, that they are pre-medical students. Students in biomedical fields, there are some animals that they authorize students, for example, from biology, biomedicine, to participate in the SCORE exchanges. If you accept the student for 1 month, yes, because this is the kind of exchange we do. What's the minimum or maximum length of duration of the exchange? The minimum it is always 4 weeks. The maximum It can be like 8 weeks because sometimes the same student can take two contracts. What are the number of hours working per day? The minimum is 6. Just so you guys can know that the minimum working hours is 6 per day. The months available for the student to go on exchange. How many students that laboratory can receive in the same month, and how many in the year. So this is the project form. It's really important. It's one of the most important parts of it. So after you fulfill this, you're going to send it to the SCORY supervising board. I'm going to write it down. Their email. They are the ones responsible for uh, showing you for revising all the projects and telling if they were accepted or not. Their email is ifmsa.scorysb at gmail.com. You have all that information as soon as you have an worry. So you send that project form to these guys. They're going to evaluate it. It's really important that you send the project form in doc format, in Word format, because if they have some correction, they will correct it. They would put their observations, and they will return it to you so you can finish everything you need if there's like some corrections that need to be made. Okay, so this is for the project form. So you already found the professors, the tutors. They fulfilled the project form. You send it to the SB. It was accepted. We're going to give you access to the database, so you can put all your information that you need from your NMO there. So you'll put in the database your your project, the description of your project. Um, Here also in the Nori folder, there's a tutorial for it. Nori tutorial. Here, there's a tutorial that shows everything you need to know about the database. I'm not going to show it to you because maybe it's not necessary for everyone, but the Nori will receive authorization to work with it. It's very self-explanatory. It's not very hard to use the database. So they will gain access to the database. With the database, they will put the information on the project, and they will put your Explorer pages. The Explorer pages, the animals they already have exchanges there. They already have it. It's here. Exchange the world. I'm going to show it to you. Are the Explorer pages, countries that have Scopy already probably already filled something in the Explorer pages. So, for example, here we have information from Ecuador. So we'll get access to updated saying that you have Scory, or if you don't have Explore's page, you're going to put it here. So here they put all the universities that have Scory. They have all their information here. So you'll gain access to do your Explorer pages. It's really important that you update well your Explorer pages. So you gained access, you put your information of the projects you have on the database, you already have your projects, you have the Explorer pages. The step 6 is for you to organize a budget. That sounds a bit complicated, but it is not that hard. I'm going to show here also in the Nori folder, you'll have everything you need to know about the budget. It's really simple. Here you come in manuals, activating SCORI, and here's there's the planet budget for the SCORI exchanges. I'm going to open it. It's basically an an assumption of how many contracts you're going to plan to sign, how much you're going to ask for fee from the students, how much you're going to receive, how much you're going to spend or on your students, um, how much you're going to spend on hosting and lodging. For example, if they're going to stay in the house of students and they won't receive anything for that, you can say zero and then specify hosting will be in student's house voluntarily. Boarding, you put how much you're going to spend uh, for giving food for the student, other costs that you may have, and here you need the signature and the stamp of your president. That's not very difficult. It's really important that it has to be also always in euros. So, for example, you plan to sign um, first year two bilateral contracts. How much you're going to ask for your incomings for this student that got the bilateral contract? Uh, 300 euros. And then you just two contracts in here. In the end, you put 600 euros. Okay, it's not very hard. When we do that, probably your RA is going to do it with you, so it gets easier. But it's just because I have to show you the budget's really important. Uh, after that, after you finish the budget of your exchanges, you will send it to the SCORI director for him to approve it. The seventh step is sign the SCORI contracts. Usually we sign the contracts in August, in the August meeting on the contract fair. That's when the countries organize themselves to see how many students they can receive in the next year, how many students they want to send to the next year. So it's really important to be ready for uh, to know how many people you can receive in your country, how many people you want to send away in for the August meeting. But you can always sign the contracts. For example, it's January and you have one more place, you can sign one more contract. But it's really important for you to be ready by August. And here there are two types of contracts in both in SCORI and Scopy. They are the bilateral contracts and the unilateral contracts. The bilateral means you send a student and then you'll receive a student. You're obligated. If you receive this, if you send a student, you're obligated to receive a student. It works like this. And if you have a unilateral contract, you can have a unilateral contract for outgoing, so you can just send your student, or you can have a unilateral contract for receiving, for incoming, for receiving a student. That means, for example, you're from Ecuador and you sign a unilateral contract with Germany to send a student of yours. So you'll send a student, and then because you're not receiving another student in your country, that student will have to pay a unilateral fee. And that happens the other way too. If you sign a contract for receiving an incoming, it's a unilateral contract with Germany. Germany is sending you a student. You can ask him for the unilateral fee, because it's not a bilateral exchange. You're not sending one and receiving one, so you can ask a fee for that. So if you signed your contracts, the eighth step is the first year that you're running your exchange, your research exchange program. You came in August, you signed all your contracts that you wanted to sign, you signed 5 bilateral contracts. And then you have to receive 5 students and you have to send 5 students. When you get home, you gotta do your outgoing selection for the students you're going to send. You gotta distribute those contracts, the that we call AFs, application forms. Since you signed 5 contracts, you will have 5 different AFs, application forms. You select the students you want to send, and they will send their AF for the other country. The other country will send them their card of acceptance. The student will send them the card of confirmation. They will go on exchange. They will complete their evaluation form, and after that, they will get their certificate. And the same is for the incomings. You signed 5 contracts, you sent your 5 students, and then you're also going to receive 5 students. All those 5 students will receive an AF, an application form with all their information, their letter of motivations, their choices of projects. You're going to send back, you're going to check which project can accept that student. So you talk to the professor, you give him all the information about the student that's coming, and then you fulfill the card of acceptance that will contain other information that the foreigner student will need when he comes to your country. He'll have the address where he's going to stay, the name of the university, where's the address, who are their contact persons, and then that student is responsible for completing the CC. That's the card of confirmation, telling you when he's going to arrive, uh, and all that information, because usually they need airport pickup. Then they will start their exchange program. First, you take them, show them around. It's we're not talking right now about that, but like for example, social program is really important. It's important for you to organize a social program with your student. That's also necessary for you to organize. Then, in the end of the exchange, he'll complete the evaluation form, and only after he completed the evaluation form, you give him the certificate. Okay? So I hope you guys liked it. That was the presentation I had for you. Uh, and be awesome. If you have any doubts and you're interested in activating Scory, follow those steps. Send an email to scoryd@ifmsa.org. He'll get in contact with your RA. If you already did that, get in contact with your RA. It's really easy the way we do our emails. You can see it over there. And that's it. Thank you very much. And now I'm going to take your questions. Okay?